Sorry, my phone cut me off. Okay, so getting back to it, this is your A string, because you have your E being your 1, your F sharp your 2, G sharp being your 3, your A being your 4, but because this is an A and this is an A, and it's the same A, you can actually just create your A chord there. Now, like I said, with your C, A, G, E, D, those are the 5 open chords that can be movable. So B and F are the ones that are repeats. So that A, when you move it up 1 and your finger takes over like it's a capo, now it's a B flat or an A sharp. You move it up 1, now it's a B chord. Move it up 1, because B and C are side by side, that is now a C chord. See, B, C, so there's your B chord, C chord. Or, you already know, you could do a C chord that way instead of a bar chord C. So there's certainly easier ways to make certain chords to where you don't have to do the bars, obviously. So with that being said, there's your A chord. That's your 4 of the E. E, F, G, A, B. So that's your A. That's the 4 and the 5 are also major chords. So that one's going to be a whole step up for the B chord. And now you have your 1, 4, and 5 major. So you've got your E, A, to your B. Okay, so you know that all of these now will go together so far. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, and B. So E, 1 chord, 2 chord F sharp minor, 3 chord G sharp minor, 4 chord is A major. See, either one. And then you've got your B chord. So really, if you want that higher pitched tone to, like it's climbing up rather than coming back down to where it gets those lower note registers, versus it all just, that's why it's good to know the multiple places, because maybe you want a brighter sounding B rather than a lower sounding B. Okay, so we established 1, 4, and 5 as your major, 2, 3, and now the 6 will be your next chord. So E to F sharp to G sharp to A to B, B to C, yes, but B to C sharp, because that would be the whole step. Root, whole, half, and then start from there, whole. So that note right there is your C sharp, also known here. So you got here or here that you could do. So C sharp up here would be like an E minor shape, right? Because this is your E string bass, so you make an E shape if it's major or minor. So there's your minor, C sharp, or here's your C sharp for the A string bass, so you make an A string major or minor shape. So because it's minor, we're not making it this way. We're going to make an A minor shape, which we know is this one, 2, 4, 3. So instead of it being your index, you're going to use your middle finger, ring finger, and pinky, and bring it up towards your C sharp is your bass note. Here the same, except that one's just brighter, right? Has a higher tone. Okay, so that's C sharp minor is now your 6. So now I'll show you. In any order that I take these 6 chords in, it will go beautifully with E scale, E major scale. Okay, so I'll just go in random orders now. So E, C sharp minor, B, G sharp minor, F sharp minor to A, to B, C sharp minor, So it doesn't matter what order you put it in, any of these chords will go together, okay? It all just depends on what your melody is if you're creating something from scratch. Okay, so to further my point on the spelling though, real quick, your A chord, A skip a note, C skip a note, E. Now it's some form of those. So we know that A is open A. The C is actually going to be a C sharp. The E is a normal E. So, because obviously your E is an E, so you don't have an E sharp per se. So this A chord, A, this one is your D string, so that one is a whole step away from your D, that's an E. This one is your G string, so a whole step away from that is an A. So you've got an A, you got an E, you got an A again. So guess what? This is your E, A, or E, A, E, A. You've just got those repeating right there. This is the one spot you've got the C sharp. That's it. Because this is your B string, that's your C, B, C are always side by side. So B to C sharp will be a whole step. So that's the one spot you have a C sharp in this whole thing, and then open E at the end. So E, A, C sharp, and then your E again. Okay, so with the B, just to drive these points home, B, some form of D, some form of F. So B, that would be a C sharp, D sharp, E, and an F sharp would be the scale. But I'll prove it to you right here so you can see. So this is your A string, there's your B. This is your D string, E. So F is side by side, E and F, so that means this one has to be an F sharp. So there's already in your B chord, there's your B, F sharp, and then this one is your G string, A, B. So there's your B again, so you've got a B here, a B here. There's your F sharp. So now here, you've got your B, C, D. So that's a D sharp. So there's your D sharp right there. B, F, B, D sharp, and then this last one, F sharp. Okay, so there's your some form of B, some form of D, some form of F, which is B, D sharp, F sharp, which makes it a major chord. Now C sharp minor, which would be spelled C sharp, E, G sharp. You got a C sharp. This one's your G string, or D string, D, E, F, G. So there's your D, E, F, G, sharp. Ha, there it is. I was supposed to say, I'm confusing myself. Okay, so there's your G sharp. And then here, that is your G string, so G, A, B, C. So there's your C sharp for that one, right? And then here's your B string, B, C, D, E. So that one's there for the E, because that's your E. So I said C sharp, E, G sharp, and so we've already established all those. So you got a C sharp here, you got a C sharp here, you got a G here, or a G sharp, and then an E. And then right here again, this is your G sharp. Because E, F, G, G sharp. Now again, like I said, it's not really necessary to know the spellings of the chords. It's just nice. I mean, really, it just makes things a little bit more comprehensive over time. But that's why I wanted to really reiterate some of these things that we've talked about in the lessons, because I know a lot of theory is just reiteration in order to understand it. Okay, so we established 1, 4, and 5 are our majors, 2, 3, and 6s are our minors. So the 7, the pesky 7 chord, is the diminished. Most people don't use that in popular music that you hear on the radio. It's kind of rare unless you listen to Queen or Rush, or I'm trying to even think of something else that would have a diminished chord in it. Maybe some Paul Simon. I know that he's used some diminished chords in his stuff too. Okay, so then for the D sharp diminished, that's your C sharp, there's your D sharp, and it'll look like this, like a little weird, I call it like a weird house top, because I consider this the rooftop, this is the triangle rest of it, but this is like the extension of the house. So I don't know how you want to look at it, but essentially it would be like this one on the, let's see, 6th, is that right? There's C sharp, D sharp, yeah, okay, my bad, sorry, that's confusing with the capo and stuff. All right, so D sharp, this is also your D sharp, and this one above it is going to be its flat 5th and its flat 3rd underneath it. So we'll talk about that another time, really, in discussing theory stuff. But your roots are always like this. Pretty much a skip a string and skip a fret from the 5th to the 3rd. From here, though, would be a whole, like 2 frets and 1 string. But for sixth and fifth string, your octaves are only one string and one fret apart. Notice that. So then right above it is your flat fifth, and right below it is your flat third. And it always sound to me like a question mark. Like diminished chords usually sound like a question. Like that, or these are all diminished chords. Just so you can see, like that's a D diminished, for example. This one would have been an A diminished, because you're flattening the one above it and the one below it. Because remember how we talked about this is your A, that's your A. So therefore the one above it is the fifth, the one below it is the third. So you flatten the fifth and the third. Versus like whenever you make a minor, that minor, the root stays the same and the fifth stays the same, but the third, if this is your A major, you're flattening this third note, so it goes down a half step. And now when in a diminished, you flatten both the fifth and the third. So that would be an A diminished. So that's what we're doing up here for this D sharp diminished. This would have been a D sharp major. This would have been a D sharp minor, making the A minor shape, because remember this is the A string. So now making it diminished, we flatten both those, keeping the roots the same. The roots are going to stay the same, but the fifth and the third will be flattened a half step. Okay, so it'll always sound like that. So now, will you use it? Rarely. It's not really a common chord to learn in most famous songs that people love to listen to on a regular basis. But yeah, so now just to put that all together, how you can hear it in any order, really, I'm just going to go at random. E, F sharp minor, G sharp minor, A major, B major, C sharp minor, D sharp diminished is the chords that will go well with E major scale. Okay? G sharp minor, F sharp minor, A, or B, A, my bad, E. Now we'll do C sharp minor, B, sorry, that was my nails, I gotta cut my nails, but that was your D sharp diminished to an E. It's a good resolution or resolve to that one. D sharp resolves well to E, or D sharp diminished. D sharp diminished also resolves well to a C sharp minor. So I hope that further explains comprehensively to where you get it, but if not, obviously just like tell me and be like, girl, this is still just racking my brain, and I'll be like, okay, I'll try to figure out a way to break it down even more. But that's essentially just using your E string as knowledge of knowing you make the E shape, major or minor, and you know it's going to be whatever letter it is up here, major or minor, it's going to be an E shape, major or minor. So if it was an A flat major, because it's your E, F, G, A flat. Flats are this way, sharps are this way. If it was an A flat minor, so there's your A, right? So let's do a B flat. So there's a B flat right there. B flat minor, no middle finger. So if it was a B sharp, which would just be a C, but sometimes you might come across a B sharp minor, minor, which is also a C minor, because B and C are side by side. But sometimes you might come across a B sharp minor. I don't know. Okay. Or C flat. That's the same thing as the B. The B could have been a C flat or C flat minor. And then A string, of course, A string, you make the A major. And if it's minor, you make an A minor shape. So using that as your bass note, A to B, if they said B major, you make an A shape with the B in the bass, so you have to bar that first string and that fifth string. Now you can include that one, like I said, that sixth string. You can include it. Now if it said a B flat minor, you make A minor shape because this is your A string, but it's a B flat, so flat goes back one, so there's your B flat minor. And then of course D's, you've got D major. Now if it's minor, it's this bottom one, like it's been the bottom for each one. The A, it's the bottom one. So the D, it's also the bottom one that you flatten to make it a minor. So there's your major, minor. Notice these two stay the same, it's just different fingerings. Okay, and so if you wanted to do bar chords of these, which most people that I've seen do not do bar chords of D, they usually just go find the bar somewhere on the E or the A string. But in case they do, you got your D, there's your E. See, this is what I'm talking about. No one's gonna make a D minor shape for an E minor chord. Because listen, it's the same exact thing. My dog just looked at me saying and for an E minor or an E minor 7, you know, you could, that's how you can get that, still that higher note. And which no one's going to do that for that, at least not that I've seen. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to really reiterate on here. I can't think of a thing, but I hope this was edifying, illuminating, creating synapse to synapse connections in your little gray cells. I hope these were helpful. This was helpful, right? Okay, if not, obviously I'm weird, and I will explain further next time. Okay, bye!